I don't know about you guys, but Wednesday night and the NHL draft cannot come soon enough. I am super excited for this day to come, but I've had it. I've had it. I've had enough with the waiting. I've had enough with the speculations, the constant rumors, the fucking nonsense that goes on within this fan base. It's exciting, it's fun, it's hilarious at times too, but I just want this shit to be over and done with. I just want this to be over and done with, boys.
We've been patiently waiting, since September last year?
Since forever, since
Especially Joey.
Since the lottery draft. That's when I started the countdown. So
right. No, I'm saying we knew that this class would have been, something that we haven't seen in a long time. It's
gonna be
for a few years now.
Oh my God, it's gonna be great. But hey, this is something we haven't done, I think, since we started this podcast. We're recording on a Sunday, not even afternoon, a Sunday morning.
and there's no curfew.
And there's no curfew. There's no curfew. There's no darkness. It's like there's light behind me.
Life went the right direction, I guess.
Thank you all for tuning in to a brand new episode of the Curfew Boys. It's the 2023 draft preview episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. Click like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. This episode's going to be exciting. To those on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, thank you so much for tuning in. Gentlemen, it's well, let me introduce. There's myself, Sammy, with Joey, Chris, and Zook.
Hey now,
boys. Happy Sunday late morning. A little bit unusual considering how we always go about our podcast, but this is Joey's idea, by the way. Figure we record this Sunday late Sunday morning. If you're listening to this now on Sunday, it's released. Duh. Gives our listeners and our viewers time to digest our opinions and our thoughts before Wednesday night, the big night, the 2023 NHL Entry Draft in Nashville. Before we get there, I want all of you to know, all of the listeners and all of the viewers, letting you guys know that on Wednesday, we will be doing a NHL Draft live episode on YouTube, pending that there are no technical difficulties, pending that I don't fuck this up. We will be live on YouTube, the six of us. It's going to be a Curfew Boys full house episode. Anthony and Adri, if you're listening to this, you need to be there, okay? I don't care if you have wives. I don't care if you have kids. You need to be there, okay? Make sure you RSVP your night on YouTube live for the NHL Entry Draft. I can't wait for that. Seriously, that's going to be fucking hilarious and fun. And
I can't wait till it's over and we start either bashing or praising Hughes, because it's going to be it's going to be fun.
I you know what, Joey? I think all of us, the five of us, cannot wait to see your reaction more than anything. And it's honestly, we need to prep our audience, our viewers. We need to prep that because
I mean,
if there's one person I'm worried about in all of this, it's you, Joey.
Yeah, I could go nuts, but I mean,
no,
I'll try to keep nuts.
You will, but the thing is, I think you'll go nuts either in a good way or in a bad way.
I don't see anything being bad though.
Joey froze.
Joey froze in the state of madness.
Oh my God! Okay, Joe, I don't know if you hear us, but fix your shit and get back to us ASAP.
It's okay.
Oh my God! Okay, here. This is what I'll do.
Who needs a coffee when you see that face?
It's okay, Joey. Okay, he'll be back.
You'll be back.
You'll be back. So... Okay, well, look. Listen. Oh, it didn't take that long. We're not editing this, by the way. Hey, no. Joey.
My laptop decided to fall back asleep, I guess.
That's okay. It's okay. Joey.
Yeah, so like I said, I'll try to keep it civil. I mean, obviously I'll be happy to
not civil, but
dude, go all out, man. Come on. This is a podcast.
Okay.
We don't
throw in all your
face painted, Braveheart.
Oh my God!
Just
I want
prepare
you
to
to
be
look like
shattered.
I want you to look like William Wallace. Okay.
Oh my god.
All right, guys. Let's get started. It's the Curfew Boys draft preview. So the two main guys within this business I really listen to. I definitely listen to Bob McKenzie, and I do listen to Craig Button. Okay, I know a lot of people don't. I know a lot of people say he's wrong. It's sometimes he is a hit or miss, but Bob McKenzie is my top guy, and so he finally, he released his final draft rankings, and the obvious. There's no debate about it. Connor Bedard is going in at number one. And, fucking Chicago. Like,
Well,
they had their moments. And they drafted a Patrick Kane and a Jonathan Taves. Now they're gonna get to draft another elite fucking forward. Like,
Who do you think deserved number one? Like,
I
what
think
franchise do you think needed?
Montreal Canadiens. Like,
Okay,
who else?
besides us.
I think Joey. I was
Hmm.
expecting the Anaheim Ducks to get the first overall pick. I was really surprised. Chicago jumped what 3?
Yeah.
So,
it's right.
Like I was expecting the Ducks.
Yeah.
And
No, that's
I
a good
thought
shout.
had the Ducks drafted Bedard, man, they're fucking
Mason
they're
McTavish.
lined up. They're
Mason
lined up.
Mason McTavish was hoping for that, because don't forget
No,
they won gold in the World Juniors, not
That's
not
right.
this year. And apparently he was texting Bedard like every time they lost, like, we're one step closer, one step closer.
Also Columbus, I could have seen Columbus and Bedard for a long time, like being the franchise player in Columbus.
Make it Patrick Line. Can you imagine Patrick
Dude.
Line, Gaudreau, and
Dude,
Connor Bedard?
they're another team who are slated for like
I wouldn't have mind
good
San Jose.
10 years next time.
I wouldn't have mind
Bedard?
San Jose.
Bedard in San Jose, really?
No, not the fit or just.
I don't see San Jose.
I think San Jose is a team that they haven't had somebody since what is it, Marlowe and Thornton. It's been a while now.
Thornton, Pavelski.
Jonathan Pavelski is like great, but is he like
Dude,
that?
that
Thornton, Bedard, Marlowe level. I don't know. He was always that good supporting cast of it. To me, he was never the one to lead the team. So it would have been nice, San Jose or
Jonathan Chichu.
California.
Jonathan Chichu for one season.
I remember that
for one season, all because it was the year that Thornton had like 10 goals and 120 assists.
Well, that's the thing, and Thornton wasn't drafted. He was acquired by trade. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, for the
That's an organization that I don't see any. I don't know how it still exists. It's a weird.
No, but that's what I said. It's a team that kind of deserves it. They've been starving for that for a while. Same with Anaheim. Someone like Chicago, to me,
they don't have the market though. See, fucking Bettman, if you were to fix anything, it would have been in Chicago for sure because of the sheer size of the market.
Beyond market, because to me, Chicago does not deserve the number one overall. I'm sorry. Everything that's happened to them, having the 3-cup dynasty. Kane, Taves, and all those guys.
It is a lottery, though, right? So sometimes, unfortunately,
you're lucky,
bad people win. It's what it is.
This is why I think I prefer the NBA lottery. I don't know if you know how it works, but this is why I prefer the NBA. Well, look, number one didn't get the number one didn't get the first overall. So Chicago was third last. They got it. I get it, but the chances. The NBA lottery, it's a little more even and spread out. So you don't have to tank for last. I think it's a 14% chance from the top 3. And then it's like 12.5 and then like 10. It's a lot closer. And you don't have to tank to be last to have that.
That's interesting.
Which I think the league's going to go towards that sort of model eventually. I'm pretty sure.
I believe it should because it prevents tanking.
It doesn't make sense. Exactly. If the league wants to stay a top league and be very competitive until the 82 games, that's the only way to do it.
Chris, I know you're pondering some thoughts.
Sorry, Chris, go for it.
25% to I think it's 14 or 13 is a massive difference from first to second in NHL.
I would say, let's say the range. Like I would like for, let's say, the bottom 5 or 6 teams, because I understand where you guys are going with. You want to reduce the target of, let's say, tanking. You want to discourage teams from tanking. But I think, let's say, you have it closer, as you're mentioning. I think that's a great idea, but I still think that the bottom middle teams, they shouldn't have a fantastic opportunity to be drafting first overall or in the top 3 overall. I still think you do have to help out the teams that are going to be continuously finishing at the bottom. So I'd say I stand in between what you're saying and what we see right now. Percentages, like your percentage chances closer, but you still, let's say, favor the bottom 4, 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, that's what the NBA does as well, but it's closer. That's the model I think I prefer. It makes it more exciting too, and like I said, because teams at the end of the year, it's the only sport where teams want to lose at the end of the season. Really,
look at Anaheim.
Yeah.
Anaheim, Chicago, all these teams were bad all year. I get it, but they were exceptionally bad at the end. And
Anaheim lost 13 straight.
Anaheim it was just Anaheim was just like, we're done with the season.
It affects teams that are making playoffs because,
of course,
besides Pittsburgh messing up, I get it. It affects teams. I know players don't want to tank. I get it, but there's still that sense of like we can be last, or management wanting to tank and trying to make it everything possible to do it. And I don't know.
Yeah,
you see
bring
teams
up
on massive losing streaks at the end, and it just affects teams. Like teams, it kind of worked out for Florida because they had Chicago beat Pittsburgh, but most of the time, like a playoff team doesn't lose to those bottom feeder teams close to the end of the season. So I don't know. I would like to see the model revamped, but it is what it is, and Chicago doesn't deserve number 1.
So, if we continue on Bob McKenzie's list, he has Adam Fantilli at number 2, Leo Carlsson number 3, Will Smith at number 4, and at number 5, the Montreal Canadiens pick, Matvei Mishkov. I like this list.
I don't know.
I think it's pretty reasonable. I mean, if you look, 6, 7, 8, he has Ryan Leonard, Dalibor Dvorsky, and David Reinbacher at number 8. And honestly, the more we, I guess, you read some things that come out on Twitter, you list some rumors here and there. The sure bet is Connor Bedard, but then after that, from 2 to 5, it's still kind of up in the air. It seems. Like not many people think Fantilli is going to pick second. Some people think Anaheim's going to pick Mishkov instead. So
I think that's what's going to happen.
Really?
You think Mishkov is going to go number 2?
So my thing is Bedard, Mishkov, Will Smith, Leo Carlsson.
Oh my God! You're saying Fantilli's dropping to 5?
No.
You think Fantilli's dropping to 5?
Luke is in fantasy land. He wants the Habs to get Fantilli. I don't think that happens. But hey, it's a
there's lots of rumblings going on that it's not what most people think the draft order. There might be trades. There might be people going down that you think are going to be going up.
Well, there's lots of trades going on.
There's going to be a lot of things.
We'll get to that later.
It's not going to be a straightforward Bedard, Fantilli. What do you think? What's been said for the last 5 months? There's going to be some change. I'm pretty sure. And it's it has nothing to do with the skill of the player. It might have to do with their interviews, their characters, their upbringing, all that kind of shit's going to factor in that. And teams are conscious about this stuff too nowadays. So
well, to that point, Zook, I find it so interesting because especially if you're looking at the Ducks and you're looking at the style of players that they have, like with especially I'm always going to direct myself for Anaheim. The first player you think about is Trevor Zegras.
Zegras, there you go.
And you look at the type of style that they play, like how much would an overwhelmingly talented player like Mishkov possibly fit in?
Exactly.
And I know that you don't want all the same type of player. I know that you might want to have that big centerman like Fantilli, but I do see the logic behind making the claim that a guy like Mishkov could very much fit into to a lineup as such.
I think so too. Yeah.
How exciting would that team be? Like, flash-wise in LA or whatever, California. Perfect market for that fucking player, dude.
Well, because don't forget, Zegras is a center, Chris, huh?
Yeah, that.
But he can play a wing.
He can play wing as well. But that's the thing that I'm I'll also go to Zook's point, and sorry because I'm just stealing all of Zook's points, are building upon them. But I don't know if it's just because it's the off season. I don't know if it's because nobody's getting the advertising money that they want to be getting because it's the off season. But it seems as though you hear rumblings of both, like, guaranteed Fantilli's going to go second or Fantilli's going to slide down. Mishkov is going to get picked very early. No, he might slide down to 8th or 9th in Washington with Ovechkin. That would be some beautiful story. People, no, I know he won't. I'm just saying it's like clickbait season. If there's ever a period during the year that the most fucking shit is just getting thrown at the wall and hope these people are hoping that it sticks. Well, fuck, it's right now.
It's true.
And it's annoying.
I'm a believer in people just saying things to make guys drop, let's say, and to kind of mess around with the order. Mishkov, for example, the scout in Washington, a Washington scout, was talking about how horrible it was to like scout him, and like I think he's saying all this bad shit against Mishkov. To me, my theory is because he wants him to drop rather than anything else. But he's a scout for Washington. And then the projection is he drops, he's going to go to Washington. But why say all this? And then there's thoughts of him going to Washington. I think it's for that reason. And
it's pure strategy.
Exactly. Is, yeah. Like he can go anywhere from 2 to 8. And then you look at what we're saying with Fantilli. I've even heard things that if they don't pick Fantilli, Anaheim, they may even go Leo Carlson because he plays wing. So maybe they'll put Carlson on the wing. So they're I don't know. I don't think anything that is said about Montreal and other teams that I know Montreal, if anything proves what it was last year, it's exactly opposite because everyone had Wright going to Montreal and Hughes just really turned it around and went to Slavkovsky.
So here's my thing. Like Hughes made it known that he really likes Will Smith. There's the connection there within the Boston area. Smith is going to. Oh my God, I'm gonna go double check it, but he is going to
Michigan, right?
He's going to the NCAA. I don't know if he's going to Michigan or. Oh my God, sorry, I'm having a memory blank here, but he's going to one of the universities within the Massachusetts area. If anybody here wants to research it,
I'm looking at now.
So look, Kent Hughes made it known that he likes Will Smith, and I mean, why not?
Boston College.
There you go. I know it wasn't Boston University, but he made it known. But I think that's still a strategy. But at the end of the day, it's a bit of like if I don't get the player I really want, which might be Mishkov or anybody else above, I'm going to be happy with Will Smith. And me personally, as a Habs fan, I'm happy with either or.
Will Smith.
I swear to God, I'll be, dude. Will Smith. If anybody watched the under 18 world, not the World Juniors, but the under 18 World Championship tournament, he was the best player. Will Smith, 20 points in 7 games, man. He was unbelievable, unreal. So
he's a future elite top centerman.
Yeah, but I think
having 2 of those in your team, what the fuck?
What more do you need? So here's the thing: it's like if I know we're all kind of getting used to the fact that Kirby Dach might be the number 2 centerman on this team, but I truly think if you have Nick Suzuki and Will Smith as a 1A, 1B, like you're
but there's also flexibility if the Habs are still in
1,000%,
right?
1,000%.
You have a lot of things to fall back on, right?
Somebody gets injured at center, well, you could put you put Dach there.
There you go.
So
that's insane.
So here's my but again, I truly believe the Canadiens want Mishkov, and now Mishkov's in New York, and according to I think his agent or somebody on hockey Twitter, Mishkov is meeting at least the top 10 teams.
Of course.
He's gonna be interviewing. He's getting interviewed by them. Absolutely. Of course.
Let me add something that Joey's not going to be too happy about. and it's not to buzz balls or anything. And I'm not even sure that the Habs were going to go this route. But lately, the last few days, I've been looking at videos and reading interviews between Reinbacher and a lot of the North American news outlets. And okay, I'm not saying the Habs are going to pick this way, but I really liked the way the kid spoke and he held himself in the conversation. I'm sorry.
Screw the way
Let me say something, Joey. There's something with European players that come from towns that weren't hockey towns that they have to prove themselves, right? They're role models within their small fucking towns. That's huge. To come to North America, to the top of the league in a top 10 round pick within this draft class is huge, right? So
like
he may not be the best fucking elite D-man, but I think the potential with the current organization staff that we have, with Marty St. Louis, with Kent Hughes, Gorton, they see things a little different. He might fall in line with the Canadiens.
Zook, if you want to watch him, it'll be a nice Netflix documentary, but not on the Habs. Like, watch him and his backstory.
I'm not saying that they're going to pick him, but I really like the way he spoke, dude. He reminded me of
I don't think it's not that I wouldn't want Reinbacher. A lot of the top 8 or 9 picks are supposed to be solid prospects. Just why would Montreal go after defensemen?
I'll tell you why. So what's the problem with the Canadiens' long-term goal? We always said it was goaltending, right? So if that's going to be an issue, then stack up your D-men, make that sure, and then you get a forward. It's not hard to get a good winger in 2-3 years.
Yeah, you still need a goalie to win a cup, but I think we're not. I'm not going to say stacked, but we seem not set on defense, but
we don't have a right guy.
Okay. Like it's
the right side is still a bit up in the air,
and he's a transition fucking D-man, right? So
our prospects pool of defensemen, regardless of side, is much greater than our forwards and obviously our goaltending.
That's very true.
And the forwards are just I'm not going to say massively clear, but there's just another level of some of the top 7 to 8 forwards rather than having a Reinbacher. It's I don't know. It seems too safe for me. I don't believe I'm the only one that's saying it. No, but I feel like it's too safe.
But like I'm saying, it's not a bad pick because, dude, his role model is Roman Josi. Like, that's fucking sick.
And he might be he might be a bit of a Moritz Seider type of defender.
Seider too. So, and he's young and he's already 6 foot. He's like 185 pounds. Wait till he fucking develops. But then again, I'm not sure if they're going to pick him. But still, he would be the first D-man pick though.
He's the best. He's the best defenseman.
He's going to be the first D-man, and history shows they don't go past 5. So,
see, I like another defenseman that I think can do just as well. It's kind of a sleeper. I'm forgetting his name. It's actually a Russian prospect.
He was rated what, 11th or something like that.
No, he's not. You're not talking about Sandin Pellick, are you?
No, not even. I will find his name and I'll come back to you. But it's a Russian prospect. I'm forgetting his name now that I was looking at earlier, and he kind of enticed me. And he could be somebody you could pick with the 31st pick. He might, if he drops like a few spots.
I'm gonna get to the 31st pick later, but go, Joe.
Yes, I know who you're gonna mention, but it's just to say. But I don't know, top 5. I do not think we should trade up nor down. I think we should just be smart.
It's not gonna happen. No, it's not gonna happen.
But if we trade down.
Oh no, Joe, we said it. I'm gonna lose my shit. We said
it depends though. Like
I won't be happy if we trade up.
What would they be getting though to trade down?
Right now, again, nobody knows anything, right? Everyone's speculation.
Unless they want a big Reinbacher.
If they move down, they'll be getting an extra first that is higher than their 31st. Which,
got it.
Again, it's fine, but you won't get one of the
8 and what, like 20, some bullshit.
Exactly.
Which I don't like that.
No.
You rarely get a top 5 to trade.
The only digestible thing for me is if you really, again, it will still upset me because you're passing on one of the top 5, is if you draft maybe Benson. Benson is reminding me a bit of Mitch. He's giving me Mitch Marner vibes. That's something that we could.
Yeah, he's great.
Something we could certainly. He's actually the best passer in the draft.
Yeah, so, he's very good.
Yeah. Again, would he be my first choice? No, but it would be digestible. But if you go with someone like Leonard or Reinbacher, I don't know. We drafted a Slavkovsky type power forward. Leonard, I know they're saying it gives Matthew Tkachuk vibes.
Yeah, but he's only 6 foot though. Like he's
exactly. I even read 5'11".
No,
I trying to play like Matthew Tkachuk at 5'11". There's a problem.
That's Brendan Gallagher type play. He's breaking apart.
He's injury prone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go, Chris.
Look, I'm just going to reiterate some of the things that you guys have said. I don't think we're moving.
No.
I don't think we're in a losing position, no matter who we get at 5. We're talking about those after Bedard, of course. The other 4 players that we have are Bob McKenzie and most of the scouts have as top 5. I don't think we're in a losing position, whether or not we draft any single one of them. I mean, if you look like Mishkov, it's just there's an overwhelming amount of talent, and we haven't seen him that much. He could be a huge surprise with a major upside. Leo Carlson, big guy, can play both center and wing. So again, you guys brought it up before with Kirby Dach. Like, I think that's such an asset to have, especially if a key centerman goes down, that you have somebody who can just slot into that easily, number 2 position.
Yep.
So that's great. So again, Leo Carlson there. Will Smith, I think, again, immense amount of talent, easily 1A or 1B center for us. Connections to Kent Hughes, and then Fantilli. Don't even get me started. I think we'd be blessed to be able to draft that guy. Although I don't think that happens. So no matter what, Canadiens are in a winning position, and I don't see the logic of giving away something when you're no matter what going to be winning at the spot. To that point, if you can have, and this is just my opinion, I don't want to go down. I think those players, I think you have, I don't want to say generational players, but you have potentially franchise players with those 4 guys. However, if you can still get a player like Benson, if you can still get a Reinbacher and get, let's say, a top 15, if you can get a top 10 and top 15 with that 5th pick, I would do it, because you're getting, let's say, 2 players in the top 15. And that's, again, to me, as much as you might have a superstar player, fuck, if you could get a star defenseman, you can get a star forward, maybe not a superstar, but if you could get 2 star players and you're satisfying 2 positions, fuck, I'm open to that.
That's our problem, Chris. You said it. You get a star player, but not a superstar. That's all we have are stars.
Yeah,
we don't we haven't had an 85-point player since Vincent D'Anfous. I will stress this until fucking the end of time. Like, we have not had a guy who has hit more than 85 points since Vincent D'Anfous, which is what now, almost 30 years at least.
Yeah, and here's
that's pathetic.
And let me just say this though. You're going to need that superstar to be part of the core that's right now, in terms of young players. It's Nick Suzuki. You have Caulfield. They're for sure going to make Doc. They're going to make Doc part of that young core of forwards. And then the hope is Slavkovsky becomes that, lives up to the expectation as a first overall. And I get it, it's a bit of a weaker draft, but you know what I mean? I feel like if you're trading down for 2 more picks, that you could pick another 2 forwards that are more or less the same caliber, you could look at it as, it might be balanced, but for me, I still think you need that one player that's a notch above, potentially above.
Exactly.
That's what we want as our top 6, and you add in a Josh Anderson there, who's the number 6 guy. That's the veteran to kind of help guide these young.
He's also a good leader, though, Anderson, man.
Like, he truly is. And then after that, the bottom six, you worry about that with guys like like the Raphael Harvey Pinard types. Eventually,
perfect.
Who knows? Like, the way things are going, if we don't trade Owen Beck for somebody we won't name, he's going to have a bit of that young bottom 6 role too, but he might slide into, I don't want to use the word that core, but
I forget about Owen Beck, eh? I forgot about Owen Beck.
That's the point. So let's throw this out there. Let's say we draft Will Smith. By the way, Craig Button has the exact same as Bob McKenzie, except he just switched Mishkov and Smith. He has Mishkov at number 4 and Will Smith at number 5. This is Craig Button. Whereas McKenzie, as a reminder, had Smith at 4, Mishkov at 5. So if they do draft Will Smith, this is what the potential the depth at center is going to look like. Suzuki at 1, Smith at 2 or 1A, 1B. I think you could have Owen Beck as a number 3. And then if Jake Evans is still with us, or you get a veteran forward, a veteran centerman to, again, kind of like a Nate Thompson type, but younger,
like a character type player,
veteran character type, that could help guide the younger players a little bit. You know what I mean? So
that's
here's the thing. Dude. So that's the thing. If the Canadiens are drafting Will Smith, then they have their.
But that means Kirby Dach's going to stay winger.
Oh, 100%. You put Kirby Dach on that top line with Suzuki Caulfield. They were destroying it before injuries started happening. However, if the Canadiens select Mishkov, if he's available, then Dach is going to be your number 2 centerman or your 1B centerman.
What? Anyways, imagine that line.
Not necessary. Not necessary. You know what? Again, I'm going to say this. I don't think we're moving. I don't want to play devil's advocate and say we're sliding, we're trading, we're doing anything. Based off of the activity that we're seeing going on in the NHL, you look at the trades. Galchenyuk is already on to his 9th team yesterday, and I'm not talking about Galchenyuk, but
that's insane.
And we're not going to go down this path. Actually, it's going to be a relief, but it looks like LA is going to be making that push for Dubois, so we can fuck off with that. We'll fuck off with that that talk right there. But it seems as though there are a lot of different teams that are lining up to make significant changes, significant moves, and I think if there's anything that I'm expecting or hoping more than expecting in this draft this upcoming Wednesday, is that we're going to see another move like what Kent Hughes did, acquiring Kirby Dach at the draft, moving Romanov, getting that pick, doing everything. I think the league is primed for a shit ton of trades to actually be occurring at the draft. And then I'm gonna reiterate, I will very much put my stamp and say we're not moving at 5. Any one of those 4 guys, if it's whoever's left at 5, we're picking up that guy. But I do think, especially with that 31st pick, and maybe we can transition to that right here and now. But that 31st pick, I think it's something that could very much be in play. And I'm watching out for those Montreal Canadiens bad contracts that we have and we have to get rid of.
For sure, I don't want them to trade the 31st pick.
Let's hear it.
I want them to select Bradley Nadeau. Bob McKenzie has him ranked at 31st. If you look at Bradley Nadeau's stats within the British Columbian Hockey League, this guy put up Bradley Nadeau
113 points in 50 games.
113 points in 50 games. And he is going to the NCAA, I think, University of Maine.
And not to mention, in playoffs, in 17 games, he had 35 points, 17 goals, so a goal a game.
So this is another. He's reminding me of Caulfield. I encourage you all to go research Bradley Nadeau.
He's a 1 inch taller Caulfield.
Hey, Joey, you're back. Joey,
much better.
Joey, I don't want the Canadiens to trade the 31st pick.
No, nor they should. I don't know why things are. I don't know why things are complicated. Like I miss Chris talking about trading down and up. I get it, but why are we making things complicated? The top 5, just pick one of the 5 that McKenzie has on his list. That's my frustration. Why do we complicate it by thinking of Leonard, Reinbacher, trading the 31st? I know it's easier said than done. We're fans. I get it. But if you want that game-breaking player, I just don't see Leonard or Reinbacher being as it, nor do I think trading the 31st is a good situation for us.
What are your thoughts on Bradley Nadeau?
I think he's good. I think he's good. Will he be my first choice? I don't know. I'll see closer. I know you like him a lot. But yeah, there's so many options you can go there. If you want a defenseman, it's a really good spot to take one. But you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's media garbage. Maybe I don't know Hughes as much as we think we do. But a lot of what's saying about trading the 31st and the top 5, it could be just media, spewing out bullshit before the draft. But it seems like it's so complicated for nothing, and I don't know why.
Have you watched some of Bradley Nadeau's highlights?
No, I've just heard good things about him.
Dude, he's another Caulfield type. If right-handed shot, if you look at his style, like he's another Caulfield, man, and the kid's got a wicked shot. He's got a wicked shot, dude. I think he could be that first round diamond in the rough.
How tall is he? Because you said he's like Caulfield.
He's 5'10", he's 5'10", 5'11", something like that.
The thing is, this whole thing we're drafting too many small players.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
who's the playoff MVP, and how tall was he?
I agree with you. I agree because that was the whole thing about drafting Mishkov, right? It's because of the height. One of the things is the height beyond the whole Russian politics, like the player himself. It's because of height. So I agree, but again, we make things too complicated. We really do.
Listen, I just don't see them. I don't know if they're going to make a splash like they did last year.
They're going to try, but I think
they'll try. But I don't
going to yield any results.
The only big RFA name is that I can think of off the top of my head is Pierre-Luc Dubois, and I just don't think that's going to happen. I just really don't.
Did you read the latest what RDS was writing about Kent Hughes? Is that Kent Hughes is adamant, and I don't know if it's a smokescreen, but he's adamant and not diverging from his original plan. You know what I'm saying? So he won't get a player and ruin his plan.
We don't know his.
But then again, is that a smokescreen? You know,
of course he's the best. He might be the best fucking poker.
So
player
he might be playing hard to get, so that GMs go to him. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that's the case.
Oh my god, of course he is, dude. He's not. He's. I'm telling you, like last year, to the best of my memory, he made it seem like, oh yeah, we like Shane Wright, we took him out to dinner and all that stuff. They didn't even do the same thing to Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky didn't go to the combine, and look what ended up happening. So I'm just saying, like he's good at hiding these things. He really, really is. So,
but Sam, do you see him as the type of guy who take Mishkov with all the baggage? That's my worry.
Okay, there's only one baggage. Like I don't.
Yeah, but it's a big one for McKenzie to drop him in his ranking.
Yeah, but he's a Toronto fan, McKenzie.
Okay, yeah, but he's still the top 5, and that's the problem. What's the baggage? The 3 years?
The baggage is the whole everything that's going on in Russia. That's why he dropped. It's not the contract. Like. You realize every prospect besides Bedard, maybe Fantilli is still 2-3 years away.
Yeah.
So that makes no difference. What's different is you obviously can't control his development and everything politically that's going on in Russia. That's really the thing. That's why he dropped even for McKenzie. Like it's not a small thing where it doesn't affect your draft ranking. Supposedly he dropped from 2 or maybe 3 to 5th because of this. So that's still pretty. Yeah, I agree. I want Mishkov. That's my number one choice, and that's where I can either be happy or upset come Wednesday. But
the only reason why he probably dropped him is because we could barely have scouted him. That's why. No, they weren't able to watch. They weren't able to watch much of him. We didn't see him at the World Juniors.
Bob Rob, I'm sure has videos.
That's the only. I think that's the only reason why they dropped him. Because if it was really a problem, he'd drop like, no, look, with all the, I don't think teams are gonna take him. Like he only dropped from 2 to 5. Like it's nothing drastic in my opinion, at least.
I think that's pretty big, 2 to 5. I think it's big.
Listen, you mentioned it, Joey. Whoever we draft is not coming to the NHL, to the Canadiens within 2-3 years, anyways.
Yeah, but knowing us, I know it's a new management, but it's still the same organization with the same principle. I can see us just grabbing a Leonard and then me throwing my computer out the window.
But why?
No, that's Marc Bergevin right there. I'm going to
Yeah,
interject, and I'm going to say that's a stupid Marc Bergevin. Oh, we like his character, his culture, whatever. Fuck that shit.
So, Chris, how would you react if that's the pick? Because that's my feeling right now.
I would be surprised as I would be surprised as shit if that would be the pick. But the difference between emotional Marc Bergevin and tactical, logical approach of Hughes and Gorton together, and that's again, I'm going to reiterate that beauty on another element. It's two individuals who are making decisions together. Obviously, they're relying on their scouting staff, but I find that the approach to making decisions is on a business basis, is on a more strategic level. It's logical. It's calculated. Marc Bergevin, whether it be contracts, whether it be trades, they were fucking emotional. PK Subban, oh, this guy's a problem. Fucking get rid of it. I'm not complaining about that trade, but there are so many things that Marc Bergevin did that tied back to emotional fucking decisions. The only one player in this draft that's standing out for Kent Hughes that he's clearly shown a little bit more love for has been Will Smith, because there have been ties to this kid since he was much younger, and he saw him grow up from a kid to a man to just about being a pro. And I think when Hughes has mentioned culture, you think about he brought in Mike Matheson, a genuinely good guy, a good individual who's got, I'm sorry to say it, and this is where we're going to get our mature rating, but he's keeping his nose out of the fucking white powder. He's keeping his ass out of the clubs here in Montreal. He's not going to be getting into trouble outside of. So I just think that Will Smith is that player that Kent Hughes can say, not only is he a top five guaranteed talent, I know this kid's background. I know this kid is coming into a hockey insane market that they're going to be trying to get him out. They're going to be trying to, fucking throw him off. And I can trust this kid to stay fucking on board, focused on the task at hand. And that's why I think there would be a favoritism towards Will Smith. Mm-hmm. Other than that, fucking Matvei Mishkov, the upside that he has, I think is far superior than those four guys that we've been mentioning all episode. I think that's just a guy that you cannot pass on. And if he's still there, that's the only situation in which I'm getting fucking frustrated. As much as there's an asterisk and there's a fucking risk that he's not going to be coming here for the first 3 years, that guy just has way too much upside, way too much talent, way too much potential to pass up on. So selfishly, Mishkov is my pick, but I do still very much think that Gorton will be eyeballing and informing himself about the price to potentially go after a safe pick that he trusts, that he knows in Will Smith.
Chris, so
I'll leave it at that.
This is the frightening situation. This is what probably scares me literally every day up until we get to the draft. The situation is the top four are gone. I have no doubt in my mind if Carlson, Smith, or Fantilli is available, Hughes would pick them. My only doubt and the scary situation for myself and probably I'd say at least over 60 to 70% of Habs fans is Matvei Mishkov is 5 and Hughes is coming up to the podium. You think he's going to pick Mishkov?
So my
Smith
answer to this question?
Yeah, the top four is picked. You're at 5 and Mishkov is there. If not, you're going down to Leonard, Reinbacher, Benson, etc.
I think so.
So, this is my answer to your question, Joey. If Hughes walks up on that stage and Mishkov is still on the board, all the other the other 3 guys have been drafted, Bedard, of course, gone too. If Kent Hughes is not drafting Mishkov, it's because he knows something that we don't. I know it seems as though between Nick Brobrov, between the connections that they have, if they're not picking this guy, logically speaking, it's because they definitely know that there's going to be problems.
Or not necessarily problems, but maybe difficult for them.
What's the problem?
When I say problems, is he might never come to North America. He has expressed a genuine disinterest in coming to play for Montreal or in the NHL on the whole. There might be family issues. I'm just saying.
Right, but they haven't interviewed him
yet. We're fans. Yeah, we're fans sitting on the outside. All I'm saying is not trying to come up with logical, like, with reasons. I'm just saying if Kent Hughes is not drafting this guy, I have confidence that it's for the right reason and it's a logical reason.
And if he drops even more down from 5, then that could actually cement what Chris is saying.
This is my counter argument. I would think the reasons are not the reasons people will believe. I think he will play in the NHL. I think he wants to come here. He has said it himself.
Yeah, of course.
I don't. I still to this day do not know of a top Russian prospect that has never not come over to the NHL. Whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, they have all come over. Right. I'm not going to say without problems, but they've all come over. My thinking is the problems he will have will be like, I can't develop the kid. I do not know what's going on in Russia in terms of if I can get him over sooner. No, but, and those are not the valid reasons. Like not being.
Or how about this, Joey? So the Habs have been spending, let's say, the last 3 years in building a certain team based on certain character, based on certain work ethic or mentality, and then you draft this kid that's not necessarily known. He's a man of mystery, is what they commonly call him. We pick him. He comes in 3 years, and he totally doesn't mesh with Nick Suzuki. He doesn't like some people on the team, and there's conflict.
That could be anybody.
Not necessarily. Not if you're drafting based on proper due diligence. That I'm sure Nick and Kent.
Yeah, but why are some people thinking that he has an attitude problem?
Exactly. Where's
this coming? They don't. That's some people like Sammy. Yeah, I know, but some of these people, they're.
And I'm not saying he has one.
The kid is like, shut the fuck up. You're in your basement somewhere in North America.
Right. Like, and I'm not saying he has an issue. I'm just saying maybe that's the factors behind their.
Right. What factors that different? Like, how do you know how a guy will be in 3 years fitting with the rest of the team?
Well, because it's going to be easier to track, Joey. It's going to be easier to track because they're in North America versus in Russia or things to that effect.
Yeah, but I think Adam Nicholas is still going to do his job. Like,
I'm sure.
I don't think I just don't think, or that's the feeling I get.
I don't think he has a character issue. I'm just saying.
Well, there's that. No, like nobody no, like if scouts have a hard time fucking getting videos of him or getting to go see the kid.
Did they not really see him?
Well, they have some videos, but there weren't that many scouts that were able to go there and actually see him play live. Like if these people within the business have a hard time doing it, like the fucking Joe Schmuck on Twitter, what the fuck does he know about Mishkov's character? Like, shut the fuck up. Right. So, dude, Adam Nicholas, literally, he has been contacting every single prospect within the depth chart of the Canadiens, making sure they're on track with their development on the ice, off the ice, how they're doing everything. Now, he's gonna if they draft
with Mishkov is what I'm trying to say.
I'm sure he will. They'll find a way. Well, Nick Bobrov is here. Like I don't think some people are like, oh, just because we have Bobrov doesn't mean anything.
Right.
I think it does mean something. You know, like we talk about Kent Hughes, dude. Jeff Gordon has a role in this too.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Like this is not look. The final say is on Kent Hughes' shoulders, but it's the double-headed monster that we talk about for so many times. That, dude, I think Mishkov is a type of player that Jeff Gordon would select if he 100%. Was the GM of the Rangers 100%. and the Rangers were in this position. I truly believe that. I could be wrong, but this is my feel. Then you could argue, oh, well, he drafted Lafreniere, he drafted Capo Caco. Shut the fuck up. Their coach has been putting them on the third line since they came into the league. They're not giving them top. It's a different story between the Rangers lineup and the Montreal Canadiens lineup. So
that's true. I do worry about the because I know Hughes has one of the toughest interviews out of.
They didn't do that this year. Apparently he toned it down this year.
Okay, because what I was gonna say is like someone like Mishkov who doesn't speak English yet, going through a translator you might not always get the best expressions.
Yeah, Bobrov can probably speak it.
Well, exactly. Bobrov is there. Somebody he for sure knows, or at least through Bobrov's dad with his time with
We're gonna get well informed on Mishkov. I'm 100%
Look,
sure on that.
I think Wednesday. I might have this feeling. Maybe. Well, we'll give our prediction of who we pick. I just think we might be in that situation Wednesday, and I might throw my computer out the window. That's
question.
Really
question. Oh yeah,
go ahead, Zook.
No,
you go ahead.
Just a quick question. Can he? Let's say we draft Mishkov. Is there a way he could terminate that contract sooner than 3 years?
No.
Yes. Mishkov would have to buy out his own contract.
Got it.
And Montreal, I'm not going to say under the table, have to find a way.
But it's possible.
Compensate him. Of course, it is.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Will he do it? Probably not.
Well, dude, for a player of the caliber of Ovechkin, I would do it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're the Montreal Canadiens and you have that, fucking do it.
But Zook, I'm telling you, besides, like I said, Bedard and maybe Fantilli, every other prospect seems like, and this is highly improbable, 1 year away, most likely 2 to 3 years away.
For sure.
Which his contract is, again, 3 years. So,
what's one more year? What's one more season?
On that note, too, we're going to be getting, let's say we draft him. He's going to be coming to the Canadiens on an entry-level contract for what, 3 years? At the bare minimum, 2 years. So
because he's coming
40 goal scorer in your team at $900,000.
And when was the last 40 goal scorer?
No, right.
It will be Caulfield.
Not to say that the Habs at the same time could sign a fucking higher-end player to complement what we're already getting.
Our last 40 goals. Our last 40 goal scorer. I think our last 40 goal scorer, to the top of my memory, was Brian Bellows in '93 when they won. So, to the best of my memory, I'm sure there's more.
And our last 100-point player was Mats Naslund in the 80s.
No. Richer.
No, Richer had 50 goals.
50, yeah.
What was his assist? They were not far.
No, it wasn't 100.
I wasn't.
No, he wasn't. No.
Our last 100-point player was Mats Naslund.
No, and if we draft Will Smith, guys, on that subject, he's going to be in the NCAA for 2 years minimum. And if he's one of those guys that like really puts emphasis on education, the importance of it, like Jordan Harris, he might be there for 3 or 4.
But
you know what I mean?
That, though.
I might be happy. I might be happy if Mishkov gets selected before. I'm not going to be super happy, but I'll be at least at ease because then I know Montreal's going to get Smith, Carlson, Fantilli. Like I kind of want to avoid the situation.
Yeah. We said
that's
this
how
in the chat.
Feared I am of this.
Yeah, we said this in the chat. He better Mishkov gets picked above us than below us. That's my take on it.
I don't know. Wouldn't you want have that choice? But again, we would fuck up the choice.
That choice, Joel. What do you want? It's a draft. You don't have much choice until it comes to your actual time to pick.
Yeah, look, the only situation I'll be frustrated is if we have the opportunity and we pass. But if he gets taken before, at least we could say, oh, okay, we're getting one of the top 5, which you know, it's a blessing at least.
So yeah, that's that. Boys, before we wrap this up, just take a couple of minutes to talk about the return of Sean Monahan.
Breaking news.
On a 1-year extension worth $1.985 million. Honestly, I didn't think Sean Monahan was coming back.
No,
this is I think it's a perfect contract. There's literally little to no risk at all bringing him back. I think it's because they feel, well, 2 things. I think why they're bringing him back. They're still not sure yet with this. I think they still want to try Doc at wing with Caulfield and Suzuki, which could open that speculation of them drafting Smith. But whatever, but that we'll get there. Well, we already spoke about that. I personally think he's around the same age as Anderson. You add in another guy that keeps the kids in line, teaches them. I think he's there.
Doc really liked playing with him.
Doc liked playing. You know who else liked playing with him?
Slavkovsky.
And I think he's brought back to literally help this kid in his sophomore season, play on the same line with him. Yeah. They looked good together.
Did you hear what Kent Hughes said about him, though? He's like, a healthy Monahan was extremely useful for the Montreal Canadiens. So
1,000%. And here's the thing:
he's healthy.
That's the
key. The key word is health. And if he does stay healthy, look, they definitely learned from their mistakes. Dealing with Monahan's injury.
Maybe they're confident this time the surgery was well executed. The rehab was well done.
He says he feels great. I loved how Monahan said he absolutely
says that every year.
Sure.
Last year, yeah, man. I'm 100%
I know he's one injury away from being either RoboCop
Brendan Gallagher.
He's gonna be like this on ice.
Or Darth
Vader. What was
it,
Sam? Brendan Gallagher? I had a full off season. Yada yada
goals.
yada.
Yeah, but anyways. But yeah, but the thing is that let's say if he is healthy, maybe Hughes can try once again to trade him at the deadline to a contender.
Yeah,
and then we take it from there.
Mm-hmm. Get another fucking first round pick.
I don't mind it. This kills the PLD rumor, so I'm good with it.
Yeah, you truly believe it does? I
didn't think PLD was coming here to begin with, and it doesn't seem like he is. I'm not making it a PLD topic. It's just
no for sure.
Signing Monahan, I don't know. It seems to be the case, and maybe this is something Hughes can move at the deadline because I don't think we'll be a playoff team this year again, but it could be somebody that Hughes can move at the deadline and maybe get some access. That we lost last year for him, Edmondson, and a few other guys.
Well, again, I think the medical staff with whoever the new members are going to be, they're definitely going to learn their lesson in general, and especially with Monahan.
Fun.
Yeah, I agree.
To your point, Joey, on top of having trade value, I think Monahan, much like a guy like Matheson, is just a good human being, a good individual. We have a young captain. We have a young leadership group. He was a leader in Calgary. Great extra support for Nick Suzuki here. Great role model for other guys who are going to be future leaders of this team. Caulfield, Gooley, Jack-Eye. So I think that's a win right over there. And then you talk about Slavkovsky. I think that's possibly one of the most important points. Not only did you have Slavkovsky's dad saying, yeah, he really appreciates and it's really advantageous for him to be playing on the line with Monahan. I think, unfortunately, Slavkovsky, especially not having the full, let's say, defensive awareness and responsibility right now, when you place him with, you can't place him with Suzuki, you can't place it and Caulfield, you can't really place him with Doc because, unfortunately, those guys have a great offensive potential, but they themselves don't have the same defensive responsibility as a guy like Monahan does. So in other words, Slavkovsky can go ahead and develop and push a little bit more, take those riskier plays on the ice, knowing that he's got a guy who's going to back him up. So again, for the overall development of Slavkovsky, fantastic. So all around, I'm very happy. And then you talk about not only the length, but just the amount that he's getting paid. Great deal for the Montreal Canadiens.
Absolutely.
And again, you full circle. You go towards the end of the year. If he's having a great year, and you say, Monahan, you've been great. Would you like another chance at winning a cup? Absolutely.
We'll win the cup.
Okay, that's potentially a first round pick, second round pick. So
depends how he does.
By all means.
Yeah.
But another thing we realize is this it takes a load off Suzuki's shoulders too.
Yes.
To go up against top lines within their division.
Which
you could put a Monahan in the defensive zone on the faceoff against an Austin Matthews or
Sam. Do you remember the beginning of the season how incredible pace Nick Suzuki was on with points and goals because of that?
Absolutely.
Him and Caulfield were at a crazy pace because of the Monahan factor.
It didn't help that Monahan went down, and it definitely didn't help that Suzuki.
That's when it started to get harder for the
Caulfield.
Line,
It didn't help that Caulfield went down too. But you know what I mean? We talk about Christian Dvorak, being good in the defensive zone at center, but having a Monahan there too, it just takes. I think it relieves a lot more pressure off of Suzuki's shoulders.
It adds flexibility.
Yeah, it does, because as soon as Monahan got injured, we noticed the first line started to slow down scoring because that's all they pay attention to. We had nobody else that can score.
Yeah, they put Doc at center because, he's originally a centerman. So, you take Doc away from Suzuki on that same line,
Another good reason to pick Mishkov, just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe, or listen, let's wrap this up.
One pick each.
Oh my God, I don't know. You guys got
before we get to the pick, one thing I forgot to mention: the Russian prospect I'm talking about was Simashev. I know he's a lefty, he plays on the left side.
Yeah,
him I'd like to see, Sam. And second round, I'd love to see if we draft Habral, 6'6".
The goalie.
Big goalie, yeah. Second round.
Yeah,
possible.
okay.
Possible.
I've
Yeah.
heard good things about him.
So real quick, Joe, you wanting that defenseman? Yeah, he's a left-handed shot.
He's a 6'4", and I've heard good things about him. I know he's Russian, whatever, but
let's just keep a reminder that Kent Hughes said. Now we know sometimes he plays poker, but he did say we will be picking the best available player. If we evaluate or we value two players that are just as good, but one could address a need at a certain position, that we might take it then. But until we've evaluate that, we are picking the next best available player.
That's my hope for Habral in the second round.
Okay, that's. But I like Trey Augustine too, though. The American goalie.
That wouldn't be a bad shot.
They were both very good. So I still haven't picked. So I'm gonna go counter. I'm gonna go clockwise. So Joe, we'll start with you.
Can I go last?
Yes.
Zook, you're next.
So the fifth pick.
The fifth pick.
I'm not going to go on emotion because I'm not Bergevin. So let's go with the most logical pick, Will Smith.
Okay. Chris?
I like that pick. Montreal Canadiens, there's a rich history. We've always been very welcoming to our Russian friends.
We have, yes.
Let's like the Tretiaks in mind and everything. Let's welcome with a very warm welcome to Matvei Mishkov.
Yes, sir.
Joey, I haven't picked yet, so go.
Oh man!
Now scour through all those tweets that you read.
No, Sam, go. I can't.
Come on, Sam.
I think Mishkov will not drop to 5. I think he's going to get picked before.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm going with Will Smith.
There's two Will Smiths. I originally wanted to go with Smith, but I'll change it. Screw it. I'm gonna go Ryan Leonard. Fuck it. I'm gonna be so pissed that day.
Oh my god! Completely out of left field.
I don't know. We'll get into the Mishkov. I have that feeling the Mishkov situation might happen and we might pass, but we'll see. I'm just picking different from you guys. Initially, my thought was Will Smith, but anyways, I'll just say Leonard. I just want to be wrong. That's my hope.
So Leonard was Will Smith's winger, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, they dominated. They dominated in the
UAT. I don't like Zook. He has this Kachuk type game, which is fine, but he's 5'11".
Yeah.
So, well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. Our thoughts and opinions on who are the Canadiens going to pick. Oh my God, Wednesday night. Can we fast forward to Wednesday night, please? Listen, thank you all for tuning in once again. Like and subscribe to the Curfew Boys on YouTube. Tell your friends about us. Please subscribe to us. That's the best way for us to feel the love. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, please rate us 5 stars. Show us the love, please. Or an honest rating and review. That's always good as well. To Joey, Chris, and Zook, thank you. Like, I already have the butterflies now. Like, I'm fucking, I can't wait for Wednesday. But thanks for doing this on a Sunday morning. Enjoy your Sunday afternoon. Enjoy your Sunday altogether. And don't forget, we will be here on YouTube live on YouTube, a live reaction of the Curfew Boys at the 2023 NHL Entry Draft in
so
Nashville.
Come with us.
Oh my God. So listen, if we're going to be live, comment, join the party, do what it is you have to do to entertain yourself on that night. But I can't wait. Tell your friends about us once again. Anthony and Adrian, you got to be there too. So boys, until Wednesday night.
Bye now.
Good night.
Good afternoon and dynasty.